Hello and welcome to the AllMadeUp podcast with me, Ace Ventura. Today's episode was recorded at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. So we're just going to do a short one with you here and then we will get into the episode. Our guest for today is the brilliant Tom Houghton, who Ben has been with this past week.
Yeah, I was with him. I did a gig in Portugal this week, Lagos actually, pretty fancy. So Tom was on the bill. Just a coincidence that we released an episode this week as well. He said he had a great time. We had a lot of fun. In
Not
Portugal.
on the pod, but in Portugal.
Well, I'm sure both. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I said it felt like a stag do.
It was you were performing at a surf festival thing.
It was like a fundraiser. Yeah, we got taken over to raise money for this. I honestly didn't mention it once.
Right. Okay.
I was just like, "Hello, Portugal."
Listen to the pod.
It was wild though. Mad gig. It was like 120 people. I think 120. It felt like so many people, and it started at 10.
Right.
So I was hosting, so I started. They were all hammered. A woman literally passed out at the bar during the gig. That's how loud it was. It was so much fun. But Tom went on at 11:15.
He was closing.
Yeah, no way. That's no time to go on.
Yeah,
but it's fun. He's I never met Tom before. But really fun. Really, really fun guy. We're staying in this accommodation though, and so I went with Jack Gledo as well.
Yeah. We need to get Jack on the pod.
Yeah, we need to get him on. Me and Jack, good friends, and we were told that me and him were staying in a room with two singles because there was only two rooms in this place. So we were like, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, we went to Glastonbury together, slept in a tent together, cuddled all night. Yeah. So it's nothing to us. And then we arrived, and there was this lady who was a lovely Portuguese lady. Her nightie was a bit too short for her age, but the stairs were a bit like. Oh God. And we got there, and she was showing us to our rooms, and she didn't speak very much at any English at all, and I don't speak any Portuguese. So she was like, "Oh, this is your room, and this is your room," and I was going, "No, it's not." I said, "There's another person arriving, and that they're having the double bed," not knowing that there was a third room that Tom was staying in.
Right.
So she thought I was saying, "No, I want to sleep with Jack."
Yeah,
and I was like, "Two men sleep together," and she was like, No.
You're like, it's 2023, look.
Yeah, but Jack was like, well, actually, if I did want to, I would. But the room was full of religious paraphernalia. Right. It was I slept with a Virgin Mary looking at me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know I was sharing a room, but
right.
No, it's fun. Yeah, we're supposed to do surf lessons. I'd never made it to any of them.
Right.
That was
What I want to know is, did you have sex with Jack?
No.
Oh, right, okay.
No, that was it.
I thought that's what he was going to go
yeah.
and then
I'll lead up to that.
Yeah, passionate sweet love.
Yeah. No, it wouldn't be passionate. It's a bit rough and tumble.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you got a little insight into Ben's sex life there, everybody.
No, it's fun. Really fun. Tom's nice guy. Never met him before. Fascinating guy. Obviously, he's really interesting background and.
He's a funny comic as well.
Yeah.
Tom Houghton is the guest for today. He is, you would recognise him from The Circle. He's currently touring at this moment in time. His social media is absolutely crackers. He's 120,000 followers. So we were very fortunate to have him on the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good pod, and The Circle, the stuff he talks about, it was on the show The Circle. I think it was on ITV.
It was Netflix.
No, was it
Netflix?
Yeah, because he was on the American one, wasn't he?
Yeah. It was it seemed bonkers, that show, when he was telling us about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, really great guest, funny guy. And yeah, this is the second to last one of the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, because we know we've been putting loads of Edinburgh Fringe content out to sort of paper over the cracks a bit whilst we've been away here, there and everywhere. So you're going to get more consistent in person, in the studio podcast coming up. But the last two that we've got here are absolutely belting.
Yeah.
So yeah,
one of them's amazing, aren't they? One of them's.
Well, I'd say they're all amazing, Ben.
Yeah,
I'd say they're all amazing.
Well, yeah. Sorry, I don't want to shout at anybody, but
no. But we've got these two which are coming up for you. A very, very good podcast, and yeah, I think you're really going to enjoy it. So it would be a good time to say this is going to be All Made Up with Tom Houghton. Enjoy.
It's all made up again. Yeah. It's all made up again. It's all made up again. It's all made up again.
Hello and welcome to the All Made Up podcast with me, Ace Ventura.
Me, Lewis Coleman.
And no Ben Hart. The show where each week a guest joins us in the writer's room to create a story like you and we have never heard before.
Not quite knowing what's around the corner or what we'll find along the way, as this podcast is exactly what it says on the tin.
It's all made up.
poetry again.
Yeah.
So good
Yeah.
every time.
It's a good 2-man midfield.
Yeah,
you know what
it's
I mean?
slick. Yeah, it's Keenan Skulls that I think.
Yeah. What a combo.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
big time.
We could be anything. Carrick, Fletcher.
Yeah, and versatile.
Yeah.
Different
depth in quality.
Yeah, different midfielders for different needs.
Yeah, exactly. And for those that are watching, you'll probably see we've got the fantastic Tom Houghton with us as our guest for today.
Hello. Thank you for using a football analogy immediately that I didn't understand a word of.
Oh, really?
Like,
I had you pegged as a football man.
rugby, mate.
Rugby league or
Of course.
union?
Union.
Well,
I mean, I got the Keenan Skulls reference. I was there on that. I thought, yeah, I remember those guys.
But Carrick, Fletcher, less so.
Carrick, I've heard of.
Yeah.
Fletcher, no idea.
well, they're massive fans of the pod, so they're going to be gutted when you saying that.
Sorry, guys. I'm big fan of you guys individually, just not as football players.
Little fact about Darren Fletcher at the moment is 2 boys have just been bought from Manchester City to Manchester United for 1.2 million.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like,
boys?
Yeah, they're like 16-year-old lads. They've been-
Twins.
Yeah, twins. Yeah. Package deal.
Yeah, 2 for 1.
But that's like 1.2 million for a 16-year-old from one academy to another. Just seems like outrageous, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
But moving on.
But moving on. Yeah.
What I was going to say is, Tom, you have got a show here at the Edinburgh Fringe.
I do.
What is it called again? Sorry.
It's called Work in Progress. Because it's a work in progress.
Okay.
It's about to be... I'm going on tour in September.
Right.
With a show. It's going to be called It's Not Ideal. And I'm just using Edinburgh because basically I have the tour coming up. I was going to be in London anyway, just sort of looking for previews.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, why not just go up and do Edinburgh? And I'm just doing the free Fringe, messing around every day, stick a bucket down at the end, earn some money,
Yeah.
and work up the show.
Well, that's what
Yeah.
like Harry's plan is at the end of the month. Like we've got a show in Manchester, haven't we?
Yeah.
What you're doing, and you just used it to sort of work out the last kinks of your show, really.
Yeah, and like...
Is it especially kinky, your show?
it is at 3:15 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
But it's been good. It's just I've got what I wanted out of it. And Edinburgh is the first time I've come and actually made money this year.
Yeah.
And I'm only here for 2 weeks.
You're doing it
so
with the bucket and everything.
Yeah. And
It's
like,
the best way to do it.
yeah, and it is definitely. But now I've had a taste of it. I'm like, if I come back, I want a room that's 80 to 100 seats because like you just double bubble. You know, I've got 50 seats at the moment, and yesterday there was like 30 people in, and they paid me handsomely. Nice. So I was like, yeah, if this was like 100 people, it'd just be unreal. Mm-hmm. And I know people that have come up here, done the free Fringe, ran like 3 shows and made 20 grand. So you think, and it's cash.
And you've also met people who've had the flip opposite of that as well, like who've bled money,
who've lost 20 grand.
Yeah.
But I think that's the model that I'd now do is I'd come up here either to just make a bit of money and work on a show that I'm very then quickly going to record, or take a work in progress up like what you've done, and then go from there on the idea of like touring it and stuff like that.
Yeah. I find with numbers, everyone online seems to be selling really well. Everyone, when you talk to them in person, hasn't got anyone in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I find you actually talk. I think it's just because the people who are doing well obviously publicise it online, don't they? And then everyone when you actually talk to them face to face, they go, "Oh my god, I don't know what I'm doing."
but sure, because obviously like your following is massive now. Has that not helped with like selling tickets?
Well, I did a risk this year that I didn't really get any posters or flyers. I just relied on social media.
Oh, that's interesting. And
I feel in this day and age with the Edinburgh app and everything, people plan, also because it's so expensive to come up here, people plan what they're going to see. Or they'll just go on an app. It's very rare, I think, people... I mean, you obviously will get people with flyering. It will help. But I just took a risk and...
How's it paid out?
Yeah, no, I'm doing all right.
That is ballsy, mate. Because imagine if you were the first week in, you're like, I've had 6 people, one a day.
Exactly. Well, I've made a terrible decision here and I'm now bankrupt. Oh.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I'm doing it very under the radar, but people are coming to see me.
Where is your room at Edinburgh?
It's the Counting House Ballroom.
Right,
okay.
Room.
Yeah. I've gigged in there. It is a love. You're Ian Stone's in there, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
It is a very nice room. I did Houghton Live in there.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, for those that don't know what Houghton Live is it still run by Darius and Leo?
Darius, I believe, he asked me to do it the other day, so that makes sense.
It's basically a very late night show, and you put subjects into a bucket, and then you have to pull them out at random, and you have to hate on it regardless of what it is on the red paper. So it might be like disabled children.
Okay.
And you can't be positive. Right? So like...
oh, thank God. The material I've already got.
Yeah, exactly. I first time I did it, I actually won it. I remember
Nice.
and then I went to do it a second time, and I can't remember what I pulled out. But I remember being like, I've got nothing on this. So they were like, you're gone. But it is great. But that is a great room for that as well, like massive. Because what's that seat like? 100.
It's 150.
And how many have you been getting in?
I've been doing good. It's been pretty full.
Yeah.
Unreal, man. Unreal. Yeah. My pre-sales yesterday were one. Right?
One.
Yeah.
Well, you should tweet about it, and then it will go viral, and then you'll sell the rest of your run. That's what people do nowadays.
But
It's a sob story.
Yeah, I had about 30 in, and they were lovely. It was my favourite show they were on yesterday.
That's nice.
I was like, I know the material. They were up for it. But I would definitely want a room that's just a bit bigger.
There's no rhyme or reason though, because I can sometimes have like some of my biggest rooms haven't necessarily given me my biggest buckets.
Right.
Because sometimes you can just get 20 students come in who will leg it at the end of the show.
Yeah.
Or you can just get half full, but they're all sort of like gilet wearing people in chinos.
Yeah.
Like, £50 for well done, boy. And it's like, so I don't think you can call it sometimes on just the numbers.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely not. I was just going to say, have you watched anything while you've been here, which is like you've been really impressed with, or any shows you really enjoyed, or have you not watched much while you've been here?
I watched my housemate's show on the first night, Elliot Steele, Love and Hate Speech.
Right, yeah.
Just because I'm sharing a house with him for a month, and I was like, if he's got a bad show, this is going to be awful to share with him.
Right.
And thank God it's amazing. It's
Right,
a really
cool.
good show, and he's smashing it. He's added extra shows actually, so he's
Brilliant.
He's doing really well.
Superb.
I also watched a guy called John Franklin, who was. I was on a TV show called The Circle on Netflix.
I was going to ask about that.
And he's another contestant on that, and he's brought a show over. It's his first Fringe.
What is the concept of that show?
Of his show?
No, of the circle. Yeah.
So I've got this into a soundbite now.
Right, okay, cool.
Netflix trained. Basically, it's a bunch of individuals, all strangers, never met before, and we never actually physically meet, get put in an individual hotel rooms and can only interact over a bespoke social media site called The Circle, on which you can catfish, so you can pretend to be yourself or anyone you want,
Right.
lie, deceive, backstab, cheat your way into being the most popular in an internal voting system, and then the least popular get blocked from the group, and the last one standing wins 100 grand.
Right.
And how did you do?
I did not win 100 grand,
How was the experience?
but it was an amazing experience. It was mad because I was
It
like,
sounds a bit like it cabbage your head.
Well,
yeah.
it sounds like a virtual
Yeah,
Big
Black
Brother
Mirror.
almost. Like
it is, but you're on your own.
yeah.
Because you're in isolation and you really don't have any human contact. You're only like 5 minute breaks a couple of times a day for air, and it's just a small balcony.
Oh my God.
And because you're interacting, but there's no audience to bounce back on.
Yeah,
so you're
yeah.
saying all these stuff and going, is that funny? I've got no idea.
And you don't know where they're cutting it either. You don't know where they're editing it.
They're filming it 24/7. I was in there for 2 weeks, so I lasted the whole time.
Right.
I didn't win, but I was in there the whole time. And yeah, you go mad. And also, just various, there's
Yeah.
cameras in the toilets, all this stuff.
Because I think I seen a clip of you playing guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So was that your message to the group of like?
I asked. They did actually bring me a guitar because I said I can play guitar. I'll do some songs, but I was just going, please, just give me anything to do.
Yeah.
I drew all the other contestants what I thought they looked like. I
Nice.
named all my house plants, so I was just talking to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I went insane.
Did you enjoy it though? Like,
I did enjoy. I really did enjoy it.
Yeah.
And as far as sort of exposure and
yeah,
fan
it's-
base went huge.
but-
And they edited me really well. I think but what happened to me was I got a very unfair dismissal, let's say.
Right. Okay.
All right. Can you talk about that or not?
I mean, I can, but just it's out now. So
Oh, right.
All right. Yeah. Cool.
I made an alliance with a 51-year-old cougar from Georgia called Jen, Auntie Jen,
Right.
and it was like her and me, and I was super loyal to her, and she was my little MILF and all this sort of stuff, and
But she loved that.
yeah,
You're my little MILF.
yeah, romantic words, aren't they? How to charm a Georgia peach. There you go, you little MILF. And then it was the night before the final, and I stayed loyal to her in the voting. and she voted me last and betrayed me.
Oh,
and then I found out it was two 25-year-olds pretending to be a 51-year-old the whole time.
Oh my God!
And
Wow.
they completely just the whole time they just.
And you was
25-year-olds.
you was convinced.
I was 100% convinced.
Wow, it reminds me of. Did you ever used to watch Golden Balls? The big Jasper character. Do you remember the situation where there's the woman and the bloke, and she's like, there is no. It was like the biggest pot on Golden Balls ever, and she's like looking at the fella going, I am sharing this pot with you. I'm sharing this pot with you. And she's convinced, she's just fully convinced this fella, and then she stole it, and the look on his face was just like, oh, mate.
That man is never trusting another woman. He's never getting married. He's forcing his wife. He's like, nah, they're all.
But there was it was like the sort of atmosphere. You could feel it in, like, even though you was at home, you could feel the atmosphere in the studio, because she sort of said steal, and then like her head's down like that, and you can see everyone sort of looking at her.
Oh
but
my God.
She's got a cute looking girl. She's like the most innocent looking, sweet angel of a girl.
That's it. You never know, do you?
And then she's just laughing
Don't
all the way
trust
to the bank. Yeah.
Anyone. Right, okay. Apart from obviously us.
But it's fitting that like the Georgian lady who didn't exist like is all made up, and obviously the premise of this podcast, all made up. We make up a story together. So on that sort of segue, we'll get into the pod.
Right.
Okay. So this is going to be all made up with Tom Houghton.
It's all made up, baby.
So Tom, thank you once again for coming on the pod. I'll just explain the premise of the podcast for you. So basically, this is like a writer's room. You're the lead writer, we're your assistants, and we're just going to make a story together. Okay. In front of you, you can see 3 pots: a green pot, a red pot, and a yellow one. That's like a starting sentence, an ending sentence, and some prompts in between, which get thrown in along the way. But before we jump into them, we're going to create a character. So what would you like your character's name to be?
Oh, it can be anything.
It can be
Absolutely
anything.
Well, we've spoken about Georgia.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe he should just be George.
Okay, so it's George. Okay.
And George is a chap. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Age on him.
Age? How about age unknown?
Age unknown.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Interesting.
They don't know his age.
So they keep that private.
Yeah, in fact, I think he tells everyone a different age, whoever he talks to.
Right.
Physically, what would you ballpark him at?
Oh, he's clearly a 12-year-old boy. Right. No, this is a 12-year-old boy. He's just lying, but he's very, very clever, you see. So you don't know if he's like a Benjamin Button aging disease.
Oh, right, okay.
Anything.
So he looks like a young child in that sense.
He looks like a young child.
But he's telling people I'm actually like 48.
Yeah, and he's got the wisdom. There's like, oh, maybe he is.
Yeah.
Knows about like mortgages and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He's like, I've got a cash ISA. They're like, what?
Yeah, I like that. So
weird child.
Yeah.
Okay, and does whereabouts is he from? This George, is he living in England, Scotland, across the world? Like, whereabouts is he?
He's going to be from my family village.
Okay, and where's that?
Melsonby, North Yorkshire.
Right. Okay,
okay.
North Yorkshire. So I don't suppose that's anywhere near Skipton, is it? Skipton, North
Not far
Yorkshire.
off Skipton.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Not far.
Okay.
All right. Okay. I actually had some friends come to watch you at a tour show in Yorkshire. They really enjoyed it.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. Did you do the original oak or something like that, or the wardrobe?
I did Lee's wardrobe.
Yeah, that's where they seen you then.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
They enjoyed it.
Right.
But okay, so he's
Well, he's based in North Yorkshire, and it's called George. And does he live with family?
Yes, he does.
Okay, and go on.
Oh yeah, no, it's just him and his mum.
right. Okay, and how old's she?
Yeah, she.
Well, she doesn't know, but she tells someone a different age every time. It's a family trait that runs through.
Okay.
They suspect she's
maybe
they
they just
24.
No, I reckon if we're sort of putting this into the story, this family has like a genetic condition where each one, like every generation, when they are born, obviously born as a baby, but then they either have rapid growth or like stunted growth, and they can tell people different ages, and it'd be really difficult to sort of like peg them on it.
I'm just going to move around a bit because you keep touching me with your foot there, mate.
Yeah,
and it's like
gammy toe.
Feels like fatal attraction. Just keep rubbing. I'm like, leave me alone. Right, okay.
Right, okay. And does this George have a job?
Yes. He investigates animal crimes.
Right, okay.
Like
Crimes committed by animals.
Right, okay.
that
Well, that's
is-
interesting. I saw a video the other day of a seagull nicking a sandwich out of a co-op.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Cool George.
Yeah.
Cool George.
Right, okay.
Right.
So he is investigating animals about crimes that they commit as opposed to people committing crimes to animals.
And not like Ace Ventura. He's not rescuing the animals. He's arresting the animals.
Okay,
Right.
and that's like a paid job. It's not just a side thing.
Yeah, paid on commission.
Yeah, I think it's freelance.
Like a private detective sort of thing. But
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Ace Ventura, pet detective, but like you said, not looking after the animals. He's throwing. Is he killing these animals? Is he putting them in a jail?
It depends on what the crime is, obviously.
I think
you're not gonna murder a seagull just because you stole a chip.
Yeah.
But you might.
Is it like punishment fits the crime? He makes it eat 5 sandwiches all at once. You know what I mean? It's
like smoking the packet of cigarettes. Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah, see, I reckon if they get caught, they get sent to a zoo. You know what I mean? And they're like, you got to be there now. You got to do 10 years as a.
you got to do time.
Actually, the local theme park, which is Flamingo Land.
Right.
I don't know if you've heard of Flamingo.
I've
Land.
heard of it. Yeah,
Well, that's got a zoo, and it's the worst zoo in the whole of the UK. So if the animals get arrested, they
go
get
there.
sent to,
Yeah, it
they
is
get
sent to the prison.
Flamingo
You're getting
Land.
petted for 10 years, pal. Right? Okay, just get in there.
I like that. So yeah, all these, and I'm guessing like it'll be members of the public. Do they get him via a hotline? Is it online? Is it on Twitter? Like, how are they contacting George to?
I mean, he's everywhere. He's lots of word of mouth, obviously. He's got a website.
He's got a website.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the website called? Let's try. We always try and think of something punny
it's
for
like-
like what the job might be. So if he's a detective who,
Catching animals.
yeah.
What about like suing someone, but zooing someone?
Yeah.
I like that.
You're zooed.
Yeah.
Sued.
Yeah.
Okay, he zoos them.
I like that.
You've been zooed.
Yeah.
You've been zooed.com.
You've been zooed.
I'm the zoo. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
nice.
You've been zooed.com.
Zooyou.com.
Yeah.
Okay, so is because if he's physically 12 but lying about his age,
He might be older because actually you should see him when he's sort of chasing after these animals. It's like he's actually quite impressive.
You know what? You know
Okay.
what I think? I think
He trains parkour in his little. You know, he's got a proper like.
I think it's something that we don't have to get hung up on the fact that he appears different ages. I think that might something that just comes into the story later on, maybe.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm just trying to get a little bit more in his world though, because we've got obviously his job, physically what he looks like, family. His mum is the only one. Has he got so it's set in North Yorkshire as well. I'm just trying to think of like something else that's like giving us a bit more of an anchor into his world.
All right, okay. Does he have any love interests? Does he have any pets himself?
Well, I think maybe when he was younger, his dad got trampled to death by a stampede of various animals.
Okay.
And that's why.
Exactly,
Yeah.
that's the motive, isn't it?
This is his motive.
Yeah,
To
so
avenge
maybe
his father.
I like that.
they went on a safari.
Is that deep enough for you?
That is now, yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
It's
I
bringing
think-
back lots of memories. Okay, so yeah, that gives us.
Yeah, it gives us a bit of a motive. The reason why he's doing it, we found out a bit about his family. I think we dive into these pots now. So this is going to send the story potentially in a completely different direction. We'll just try and work it in. So if you pick one of them green ones up, there's a blank, okay? Wherever the blank is, just say George and say the rest of the sentence.
George was obsessed with looking after flowers.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. He was
Yeah.
obsessed with looking after flowers. So we'll try and get that in. And we're going to pick where this story ends. So if you pick up one of the red ones, this is where we're going to get to eventually.
Killing them was the right thing to do.
Right. Okay. Killing them was the right thing to do.
We didn't have that on our manuals, did we?
No, that was the barbecue went down in history.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Killing them was the right thing to do.
So killing them was the right thing to do. And George was obsessed with flowers, was it?
Look it.
Flowers, yeah.
Right. Okay. I quite like the idea of say if that is like his his passion, looking after flowers, right?
Right.
And he's noticing that the flowers are ruined, like a few days on the bounce.
Right, yeah.
He's gone obviously like who's doing this, and he realizes that he's in fact an animal.
Right, okay. How about this? We sort of one up it. So there's a park close by. Is there any parks in North Yorkshire where you live
We've
nearby?
got the parks in North Yorkshire.
Yeah. Is there any in particular
It's sort of well renowned for its greenery. North Yorkshire.
Well, here we go. Go on. So
Well, actually, we're in Darlington, which is the local town.
Wow.
South Park is a.
South Park, right? Okay,
Right.
cool. And I imagine maybe let's say South Park is somewhere that George goes for a walk. That's like his route to whatever, and he really enjoys that. And that is the place which has been sort of like all these flowers have been killed there, and we find out it's from an animal, and it's like the park ranger or something like that who's got in contact with him. You know what I mean? You've been zoo.com, we've got a ranger there or someone who manages that park and says, look, you need to come and sort this out. And he wants to do it because he's obsessed with flowers. You know what I mean? It's that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it brings another character into the story as well.
Yeah, okay, right, okay. I like that idea. So this patch of flowers then that he's been looking after, is it like a big footprint in it? You know what I mean? Like what's the damage to the flowers?
Well, that's the thing. Like he's going around all these flowers. And obviously, as anyone from Darlington will know, Darlington has a range of very exotic flowers everywhere. It's known, it's famed for its flowers. But they've noticed that there's a very familiar bite on all the petals.
Right, okay.
The teeth marks around, and it's a jagged, crooked, snarly bite that's been taken out of these petals.
Okay, right. And so George arrives at the scene. He's examining.
I reckon, like, let's put a bit of meat and bones on this park ranger. Who's called him? Who's basically gone on you'vebeenzoo.com and said, come and check out this park?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I imagine that this park ranger's got to be someone who mid-50s. You know what I mean?
What do you think?
Yeah, mid-50s.
Mid-50s. Yeah. Let's put a name on him. Or her.
I reckon it's a proper bloke.
A bloke, yeah. Right, so he's going to call Alan.
Alan, right, okay.
Alan the park ranger.
Yeah.
Mid-50s in age and waist size. So it's all 50-50 with Alan.
Yeah.
50 all over, 50 on head and everything, yeah.
In full camouflage, right? Like that's his attire.
Nice.
Yeah. Camouflage waders, wellies.
Lovely.
And he's frustrated because he feels like he should be able to figure this out for himself, but he knows that he's going to need George's help because he's the don when it comes to this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think they've got a bit of history. Like George has helped him in the past with getting rid of some animals in the park.
Yeah.
Or maybe committing crimes. Like he caught a pigeon littering or something like that, and they just that's it. Now you've had your wings clipped. You're off.
Yeah. You're in flamingo land.
Yeah.
Remember
that
dressed as a
squirrel,
flamingo.
that squirrel that was sexually harassing the locals the other day.
Imagine
Hey,
that.
look at these nuts, love. All right, calm down.
I was just thinking, how would a squirrel sexually harass someone? But that is so funny, yeah. All right, okay.
It was one of those orange ones as well. You ever notice in the animal kingdom, like, if something's orange in the animal kingdom, we love it. Like orangutans, squirrels.
Yeah.
Whereas, as a human, if you're ginger, no one likes you. It's the opposite.
That is a solid point.
I've got a ginger. I've got a ginger cat. Yeah, little
Everyone
Willie.
loves ginger animals. No one loves ginger people. It's insane. Why?
You say Willie's ginger.
Bright orange.
I thought he's like blonde.
It couldn't be any more ginger. You need your eyes checking, pal.
Yeah.
Strawberry blonde.
Yeah. Anyway, what I was going to say, I like the idea of throughout this story, we just sort of keep chucking in these crimes that animals have committed along the way. I think that's a nice little touch to this story. Yeah. Anyway, right, so he's arrived on the scene, George. He's noticed these petals. Has he got down on all fours and he's like magnifying glass? What sort of tools has he got on his person? Surely he's got a thing.
I imagine glasses with massive lenses, like you can, you know what I mean, like an optician's.
Yeah. And there's like a little click, and they just go.
Exactly.
Like that.
Yeah.
Nice.
I reckon it's proper like go gadget, sophisticated type
like
stuff.
that.
You know what I mean? He's not an amateur when it comes to it.
And has he noticed these bite marks before? Is this something he's come across, or is it something completely new in terms of what he thinks it might be?
I mean, obviously he's an expert in animal bites.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's got a few on him himself of the various grizzled stories he's been part of as well. Like you just look up his show.
Yeah.
That was a mongoose that hit me out of just outside of Woolworths on the ice cream. It's pretty outrageous.
Yeah. I like the idea of him carrying like a leech on him at all times, just in case he gets bit by a snake.
He's got like a Batman utility belt.
Yeah, exactly.
With, like leeches and different slices of bread just in case a duck goes AWOL.
Yeah.
All different bits.
Yeah, it's got a little pouch for dock leaves.
Yeah. Oh, dock leaf. Yeah, very nice.
Can imagine him always getting nettled for some reason, this chap. Anyway, so what sort of things is he using to get in on these petals? Has he got like, is there a particular scent also on the petals? Is there, like, I'm just trying to get across, is it an animal he's ever come across or not?
I think it's a new animal that Darlington has never seen before.
Right, okay.
And Alan's like, look, I'm here in the park all day, right? And these flowers were fine. Whatever's happening is happening at night.
Yeah.
Right. So I like the idea of George being like, right, obviously, we'll have to do surveillance. So, maybe he sets up different cameras, you know what I mean, around the flowers.
Right.
Okay. Gets up like a big camo tent as well. puts himself in it, and he's like, I'll be here whenever whatever it is he's doing this, these flowers arrives. And I think that's his first step on the investigation of trying to get this solved.
A night stalk out. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, dresses as an owl. You know what I mean?
Yeah, get different types of outfits. I like the idea of him actually not taking a fee for this. This is like a passion project because it's his park and he loves the flowers.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that. I think that we take a prompt out and just sort of get a bit of a curveball in here. So if you pick up one of the yellow ones, Tom, this is just going to send the story in a bit of a different direction. We'll try and get it incorporated.
Giraffe seemed like the best option.
Wow.
Hey?
Yeah.
That is crazy. Giraffe seemed like the
Giraffe
best.
seemed like the best option.
Wow.
That is, yeah.
Well, so the prompts are already giving us pretty severe clues about what the animal might be.
Yeah.
We do tend to manifest this as we go through.
How about this then? Right. So giraffe seemed like the best option. Obviously, he needs a bird's eye view of this. His drone's not working. He's got access to Flamingo Land, where he's impounded loads of different types of animals. Maybe there's a giraffe in there.
Yeah, on a tag.
On a tag.
He's like a reformed giraffe he got arrested for he was a peeping Tom, just on different skyscrapers, just looking in on stuff.
And George gets him out.
George gets him out.
Looks him in the eye and goes, "Mate, honestly, you got to behave yourself. I'm sticking my neck out for you." Right?
Nice, very nice.
Yeah. Well, there you go. He's climbing up this giraffe, I think, to sort of get a view of this park from up above. I think that's a nice little touch. That. Okay. So he's gone and got him. Has the giraffe got a name?
Necklace.
Necklace. I like that. So he's got Necklace along. He's got him into the park in North. What's the name of the park again? Sorry, Tom.
South Park.
South Park. That's it, of course. So he takes him into South Park, and it's night time.
Oh yes, it's evening, definitely.
It's evening. Yeah. I mean, it must be a nightmare for getting through the park gates. Is he jumping over it with Necklace, or is he having to squeeze him under and through, or is it just open?
I think Alan gave him a key.
Right, yeah, that's it. That is.
Oh, wow.
You nearly forgot that, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm glad you picked me up on that.
Alan,
Key.
look, give me a fighting chance here. If you want me to explore your park, at least allow me access rather than put
Alan Key.
Yeah, the flat pack park.
Yeah.
Right? So, so they get the draft, and let's just put a time in it. Let's say it's what is this winter, summer? Just I'm trying to think elements.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I think it's actually. I was always sort of imagining summer, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah,
So it's a warm evening then. Let's say.
It's flowers, and they don't normally bloom in the winter, do they?
That is a good point.
That is what I was.
Yeah, that'd be so suspicious. Right, okay. Right. So let's say it's 11 o'clock, warm summer's evening, full moon. Right.
Yeah, it's got to be a full moon.
Yeah. So he's like, great. You know what I mean? Already, I've got the advantage. He's got his giraffe.
Yeah.
And is he set up 10 meters from the flowers? What's his?
So I think what I'm imagining he's done is he's got the giraffe to climb up a tree, so it's extra high.
Yeah.
And then the giraffe has sort of bitten his coat, so he's holding him.
Yeah.
And he's sort of missioning impossibly and.
Yeah, it's great.
Over all the flowers, so you can just have this proper bird's eye view.
That'd kill your neck for hours on end. Right. Okay. And
does he notice anything? Does he notice anything while he's up there? Is there a rustling somewhere? Is there a noise he can hear? Is there something where he's over there? Take me over there. Take me over there. Is there anything that?
Yeah, I reckon there's a few things that probably go on, but I don't think it's I don't think it turns out to be an animal that is
potentially.
I reckon it's someone within the town.
Well, the thing is, this feels like a classic sort of Scooby-Doo situation, doesn't it? A whodunit, and we don't know just yet. It could be Alan. It could be, where's his dad? He's not in his life. Was he actually trampled? There's all these different twists and turns we can put in.
This could be, how about this, that when he's doing the bird's eye view of this flower patch, he sees all the bite marks. From the bird's eye view, it actually spells out a letter.
Wow.
In the flowers.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
I like that.
A lot. What is
like a sort of Mask of Zorro Z.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so what that makes me think is if he's sort of gone up and there's been this patch of flowers, how big's this park? Is it a big park or
Pretty big.
Right, so could it be that if you went to somewhere else and there was another patch of flowers, there was the same mark or a different letter in it?
It could be. It could be different letters spelling an entire word.
Yeah,
Right,
or a
okay.
name,
Or name.
or a name.
Or name.
Okay, I like the idea of that.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking. So say like first night he notices it's a letter. Yeah. Right? No one arrives, but he's like, that is odd.
Well, I think he has a conversation with Alan. He has like a debrief in the morning. He's like, right, I've surveilled overnight. I've come across this. I don't know if it's a mark or a letter. Have you got any thoughts, Alan? And maybe Alan's like, I have no idea. Or like,
What if it was an arrow? Like, you know what I mean? It's like pointing him in a direction. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Potentially. I like the idea of an arrow, a letter, a mark. I think everything's an option at the moment. But Alan, at this point, is still like none the wiser. I've got nothing I can give you, maybe. Yeah?
Yeah, I don't think Alan knows what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah.
Alan is just a gamekeeper. Alan's like, mate, I hired you for this. Why are you asking me the questions?
Yeah.
Yeah, right, okay. So, does he revisit then like a few times in the week? You know what I mean?
I think that was his first night. He comes back again. He discovers another patch. There's another marking. There's another letter. I think he's come back a few nights in a row. So maybe he started on the Monday. Now it's the Thursday.
His draft's knackered.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a case of employing different animals for different tactics during this part to try and find whatever this is.
Right.
So let's say that he's employed this giraffe. He's found these different markings in the patches of grass. Is there anything else which is making him cause suspicion, like something else apart from these these flower marks? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The pond. The pond is overflowing.
Right.
The water's rising, even though it hasn't rained in a week.
Right.
Why is the water getting higher?
Yeah.
It's summer. It doesn't rain in summer.
Yeah.
I mean, it fucking does. but not in Darlington, North Yorkshire, County Durham. So the water is rising and rising and rising, and the ducks are going mental.
Right.
So Snoop Dogg walks past. You can't sit there, cut that out, but Jesus Christ.
But yeah, I like that. Okay, so the water's rising and he's found these marks. It's suspicious. Just remind us of what the end line is again for us, Tom.
Killing them was the right thing to do.
Right, so killing them was the right thing to do. And at this point, we don't know if that's a human or an animal, but we're working towards it, okay? I reckon we get another prompt in there.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, so the pond's the second night when it all rises.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, this is odd. Obviously, ducks are absolutely everywhere. He then reports back to Alan.
Yeah, I think that's a
tells him
consistent.
what's going on.
Yeah.
Right. And Alan is Alan like, I've got no clue what's going on.
I think maybe
for me he might be suspicious.
He's suspicious of Alan.
Well, I mean, if this is Alan's patch,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. He's got to look after the land, and he's a bit like, yeah, mate, don't really know what to say, or you know, you're a bit like, why are you so vague about this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I agree that. Yeah, I think because Alan did call him in, but that doesn't mean Alan doesn't have an ulterior motive. Like, it could be anything. I think you can't take anything off the table yet.
No.
Right. Okay.
I think that someone else almost has to come into this situation, like another character, to sort of like point suspicion at them as well at some point. Because at the moment, the only person we can really suspect is potentially Alan causing like this havoc to his own park, and what's the reason why he's doing that? Or it's an animal. It's one of them two at the moment, isn't it? So I reckon realistically, and this is sort of rooted in realism, this podcast, so that's good. So if you pick one up, one of them yellow prompts again, and we're just going to try and fill this in there.
A knife flew through the air and hit the passenger in the chest.
Right. Okay, so that's our character coming in, isn't it?
Yeah.
So this pond, is it got type like pedals on it? Is there a little train that goes around the park? I'm trying to think of the passenger element here of where we can include it.
I mean, fun fact: the first ever steam engine train was invented in Darlington.
Right.
Oh, really?
There is a train connection with Darlington.
Well, what I was thinking, what it made me think of straight away, we don't have to like roll with this, but maybe George is actually getting quite close to, he's like finding out all these different things. There's like markings, there's a pond like raising, and he keeps asking Alan these questions. Are you sure you don't know anything? Are you sure you don't know anything? And Alan's thinking, he might be getting on to me here with what I'm trying to achieve in this park. And he says, oh, let me drive you into let me drive you into the park this morning. Let's catch the train together to the park. You know what I mean? And it's George is the passenger.
Yeah, right, okay.
Do you know what I mean?
So, yeah,
potentially.
So it's almost like someone trying to take out Poirot. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
He's getting too close he's getting too on the scent.
Yeah.
Just knock him off. Yeah, okay.
So it's either trying to knock him off or maybe Alan's like, oh, you know what? I did see something last night. I saw this person sort of lurking around, or I saw this animal lurking around. Do you know what I mean?
For me, Alan is suspect number one.
He's suspect number one. It might not be him, but he is a suspect definitely.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So this knife comes flying towards them. We're gonna go down the route of Alan and George.
I'm easy. What do you think, Tom?
I would like to introduce I think there needs to be another character in here.
Go on then.
I think maybe he's gone to the park for a daytime thing, and there's people in the park. There could be, I don't know whether there'd be a passenger.
In some parks, they have like, I don't know if this happens in the one in Darlington, but they have like little buggies that you can sort of like ride around on. You know, like a little caddy almost when you're on a golf cart. Yeah. And maybe it's one of them as opposed to it being a car coming in or like a train. It's something that you, what are them things that you sort of go on and like a scooter?
Oh, like a Segway.
Like a Segway, because I've seen people before like tandem Segway, they're like holding on behind them. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I like that. Yeah, okay. Or how about like, there's definitely a talkable character there.
Yeah.
There's a I'm just gonna go with it. There is a attractive woman who is a rickshaw. The rickshaw.
Right. Yeah.
Right, okay.
And she's taking someone through the park, and then suddenly a knife gets thrown into the back of the passenger, and she's like, "Oh my god!"
Right.
They're
Okay.
dead. So George is running over to help her with this body, and he's like, "Oh my god, are you okay?" She's like, "Oh my god, the knife came out of nowhere." So we've got a dead body, the woman who was the rickshaw.
Yeah.
Driver
Okay.
and George. And this also could be a love interest. Just,
Yeah, could be.
George needs to get some.
Right. Okay.
12-year-old boy, of course.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Well, what I like about this is, right, so let's say that this travelling through the park and then this knife flies and hits this passenger in the chest. Hits the passenger. Knife gets removed. Obviously, you shouldn't do that. You should leave it in. But they remove the knife and the mark on...
that is actually very true.
The marking on the knife, like the incision, actually has a jagged edge. You know, like how the flowers had like a jagged
it's the
sort
same
of
pattern.
It's like a pattern in the knife.
Right,
You know
okay.
what I mean? So there's some sort of link to whoever this is
So
or
it wasn't
whatever.
a bite mark in the flowers. Someone's been stabbing the flowers.
It's been an incision.
Christ.
Yeah.
How deep does this go? Is there Darren Brown shit happening?
Well, it's making you think, like, is it... I mean, if a knife's been thrown, once again, we don't know if this is trying to throw George off the track, because in his head, originally, it's an animal which has bit this leaf, and is someone else just sort of being like, I don't know, I'm just trying to think...
I think if there's been a murder in the park, they're going to shut down the park, right? Like,
Probably.
Yeah, for a bit.
Did you like to think?
For a bit of time, you know what I mean?
Unless it's like...
Just put yellow cones around him.
Unless it's
Like some kids just
Unless
eating
it's
an ice
like-
cream
do
3
you-
metres away.
Unless it's like Jaws, you know, when like the shark keeps eating people on the beach, but the mayor's like, we can't close because it's summertime.
Right.
This is our biggest attraction.
Yeah.
And that's like, Darlington's nothing without South Park
maybe that's
Flower
Alan.
Show.
Surely that's Alan.
Yeah.
So like,
Alan, yeah.
That's surely Alan. Like, there's no way we can like shut this
the
park
park,
down.
yeah.
I mean, it is free, but it's like.
Like, solve the mystery, but keep the park open. We
Well,
can't close
here we
it.
go. Let's add that element of like tension of like in where I'm from. There's like a best in bloom competition, and it's like the best flower arrangement at a park, and that's why. No, we can't shut it down because these guys are going to be coming. I need you to solve this sort of mystery. That's why I've got you in, and it needs to be done in time for the judge's arrival.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just put a bit of a pressure on him. So let's say, like they do in films, like someone's been murdered, but he is going to talk to this lady who was on the bike.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Her name is Lily.
Lily, right?
Nice.
That's poetic.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and,
I do some writing. Now and again.
and Lily, who was the person? Who was the passenger? Who was the passenger with her?
It was her sister,
Right, and her name was
Rose.
Rose.
Of course.
It might have died Daisy, but I like Rose.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Petunia.
Yes, so Rose has had a knife to the chest.
Yeah.
Dead instantly, right?
Is she?
Yeah.
Maybe it's gone so fast it went through her. You know what I mean?
It
Okay.
So yeah, he's interviewing Lily, and Lily, I imagine a woman in her 20s.
In her prime.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
Okay,
She's in her prime.
Nondescript, just prime.
Yeah, okay, she is gorgeous, radiating beauty.
Whatever you translate that to mean, she's that. Prime.
Imagine that should just be a thing in general. How old are you? Oh, I'm in my prime. I'm in my prime. That's all you need to know. Thank you.
Okay, so
And maybe that's what gets her and George talking, because obviously he gets asked, "Oh, how old are you?" all the time. So he said, "Oh, how old are you?" trying to investigate, and she said, "In my prime," and he's like, "Why have I not been saying that?"
Yeah.
Because that's something he gets asked all the time. Creates that rapport with her. I like that. So there's a bit of an alliance. It's like, so sorry to hear about. Well, to sort of witness Rose get murdered, that must be horrible. And she's like, "Yeah, it was horrible." Yeah.
a mate's just died. Yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think. Like,
It really messed up my day, that.
Yeah. They haven't got time to grieve. There's a fucking menace on the loose in this park. But is this a park that she frequents often? Is she there a lot? Is it her first time passing?
Her every day she's got loads of different sisters, and every day she takes a different sister on a rickshaw ride around the park.
Right. Oh, that's
it just
lovely.
happened to be Rose's turn today.
Right. Okay. And has she noticed these markings in the patches of the flowers as well, or?
I don't think she has.
Has she not noticed? She's not noticed before.
I think she's just like she's
blissfully unaware.
Yeah.
She's too busy like obeying the highway code and keeping strict regulations on the cycle lanes, like all good rickshaw drivers.
I'm just thinking. Right. So this knife's gone through Rose, right? Is there any chance that what was her name? Lily could be a suspect in this whole thing? Is there a chance that she's connected? I feel like everyone should be a suspect in this.
I mean,
like, potentially. I'm just throwing it out.
I don't think. Again, there's no way you could sort of take anything off the table. She definitely didn't murder her sister because she had two hands on the bars because she always obeys the rules.
Yeah. Okay.
And the knife did definitely go out there. So it's. I mean, someone was through it who's nearby.
Yeah.
They're in the park, I guess.
Right. Okay. So they've got to whack fast. So maybe he's sort of like instead of he sort of goes over and then he thinks, no, what direction did it come from? And he starts running in that direction. He's back on the giraffe. He's there. Come on, carry me. Give me that view again. And they're heading somewhere. What do you think?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm with that. So daytime, heading on the giraffe in the direction in which the knife has come from.
Yeah.
Right. And I think they stumble across another patch of flowers, all of which have been like nibbled even more.
Right. Okay.
And obviously, from the giraffe's point of view, he looks down. There is another marking in it, and I think the motive of the person doing this is they want to shot the park. Right.
Right.
I think that's the thing. Is like, and if
sabotage the flower show or just in general?
No. Yeah. I think that's it. So I mean. Once again, I know that he's suspect number one, but maybe Alan is this park ranger. Maybe he's moving to another park. Maybe he is thinking, if I sabotage this one, the one that I'm going to next is going to be, I'm going to be able to take all the awards, all the accolades at that one. Do you know what I mean?
Well, they have got that new park in Newton Aycliffe, 20 minutes down the road, haven't they, of course?
Right.
These are all the gigs which Hilarity Bikes run.
Thank you, Neil Jolly, for sponsoring this section.
Ripping. We'll just keep ripping them off. But okay, so Alan's going to another park.
Potentially, I'm just throwing out the ideas. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm just trying to think if he goes to his second patch and there's like a symbol in the grass, is it a warning like at first it was the flowers, now it was Rose. You know what I mean? Like if you keep on investigating, it's you next.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what's in the flowers when he goes.
That's
in
a long message in petals, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or are they like, flower arrangements at a funeral, like individual letters? Yeah. They're like little ones like that obviously he's just got like a full sentence.
Okay. So what does it say? What does it say on it?
I think it says the first one. I think the first one said, leave or else.
Right. Okay.
Right? And the second.
LEAF.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
I
mean, he's a murderer, but he likes that play on words.
Yeah, he can slip a gag in now and again. He's a
mysterious guy.
The second patch of flowers is a bunch of roses, and the message says, "I told you so."
Right. Oh, okay.
So
basically, we're coming to like the third act, the final act of this story in a way.
I told you so. I told you so. Leave. I'm trying to think of like what's the step up, because if you killed someone, it's like if you kill two people, that's worse than one person. But like,
no, I think
you've got to go massive if you're gonna.
Right. Well, what
you want to have like sort of a Darlington will be in flames.
Yeah.
Burn the entire city of Darlington down.
Yeah.
I'm going to burn and surrounding areas.
Yeah. I'm burning this park down I'm burning South Park to the ground.
Yeah.
I think, and everyone in it. I think that's like.
I might even make it as far as Piercebridge if you don't.
This local knowledge is superb.
All down the A1. And,
right. Okay. I think that's.
I'll leave Sunderland. That's had it enough. That's had enough bad things happen to it. Don't worry.
I think it's some sort of like it's like a terrorist sort of operation. It's like that's the level he's going to go to next. It's like I am going to blow up South Park. Like if you carry on investigating, like I don't know what the motive is, but yeah, that's where we are. I think we have one last prompt, and then we sort of fit that in, and then we try and aim towards killing them was the right thing. Okay, so if you go for that, Tom. So our last prompt, and I bet this just goes bonkers now.
They were smacked across the face with a wet fish.
Oh wow!
It's more for the animals.
Right, okay, so they were smacked across the face with a wet fish. So, right, let's just speed up and ramp up this story.
Well, by this point, the pond has overflowed so much, there's fish fucking everywhere anyway. Everyone's just like batting through trout and salmon, and I didn't even know that they had this in the marine life of Darlington, but they do. Swordfish, sturgeons, tuna, there's all sorts of stuff.
Right, so do you know like on Scooby-Doo, where it's like, it's a ghoul, and it's like a ghoul or like an animal or a monster, and when they always have a mask and they take it off, but before that you had no idea that it was a person. You know what I mean? So I feel like this is a similar situation where they're chasing after something. It doesn't quite look like an animal. I mean, it doesn't quite look like a human. It looks like some sort of creature, monster, and they're going after it. But it could be a human at the end of it. You know, like. Okay,
you could go really wacky, and you could have it that Alan is in fact. Being like if you lifted off his hood, underneath is a former animal which George has imprisoned. And,
oh my god! It's a Russian bear.
Yeah.
And under that is another Russian bear, and another Russian bear, and another Russian bear.
Well, I just think going off what you were saying before about the ginger animal sort of scenario, is it like an orangutan which wasn't orange, it was a different colour? You know what I mean? Like something
blonde.
Yeah, like a blonde orangutan, which had imprisoned. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking the idea of if the park stays open. And Alan is trying to keep the park open, but these things keep happening. But Alan is, in fact, the guy making all these things happen. He is just facilitating the failure of this park.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking. So it doesn't have to be an animal. Maybe it's the owner of an animal that George imprisoned.
No, if it was just rolling with that idea that Alan is, in fact, an animal underneath like a ranger costume, like...
Is it like 18 squirrels running in with sticks?
But all I'm thinking is George sort of like puts a few things together in his head, and he's like, it's Alan. It's got to be Alan. This like I seen that it was like he had a little knife on his person like last time I saw him, and whatever. He just sort of connects a few dots, and then he sort of like turns. He turns to Alan, and Alan turns and looks at him, and they lock eyes, and Alan thinks, I'm sussed. But then because he is in fact an animal, he starts like climbing trees and sort of like swinging from vines and it's like, what? And then he's having to try and get to him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Right, okay. Yeah, that's mad.
It is mad, but I like it a lot.
And so he just keeps on like picking up fish and chucking them.
Yeah.
Trees.
Exactly. So he's thinking, what can I utilise here? And he's swinging from web to web, vine to vine, and he's like chucking these fish at him. One hits him across the face. So we've got that in there.
Because he's a bear, he catches it.
Right, so what animal is it? Is it an orangutan? Is it a bear? Is it...
I like the idea of being like loads of little animals running him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like that.
Do we see like three monkeys on like each other's shoulders, and they're wearing a
maybe,
trench coat.
maybe they're all like working together in this outfit of a ranger, because it's like you said, it's all different animals that are imprisoned at Flamingo Land.
There must be flamingos at Flamingo Land.
Oh yeah.
Right. What if it's
flamingo legs underneath?
Yeah. What if it is like the flamingos themselves that have got together and are pissed off at the fact that George keeps sending these like loopy animals, to their park, right? It's like you're turning what was a lovely family fun day into Shutter Island, and nice. Like this is not doing anyone any favors. So
I like that. So it's 7 flamingos. Inside Alan the Ranger costume.
I think that works. 1 for each leg, 1 for each arm. So you got 4 there.
The torso.
Then, 3 just kind of doing everything else.
Yeah, torso, head, and then just and you're playing his genitals.
Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot. Right. So.
Why do I always have to play the dicks? Shut up, Sarah.
Sarah the flamingo. Right. So they. Yeah, he looks on, right?
Right. Well, what I'm thinking is, right. So how does like Alan's sort of costume get ripped away from him? How is it revealed that it's actually 7 flamingos operating Alan?
He coughs and a feather comes out.
Yeah, but how does his whole outfit get stripped? I imagine that they all sort of fall out from this outfit in somewhere.
Do you see like doves come out of a box?
Yeah,
like that. But just it's.
Oh, but what is the reason it gets?
Exactly.
I reckon because there's lots of fish kicking around, right?
Right.
Is there one big swordfish that he can sort of fly, and then just the nose rips down the costume?
Yeah,
like
the seam.
Comes out. And
exactly. Right. So he's been throwing these fish.
That'd be such a sight to see. 7 flamingos just.
Well, this is it.
Well, a swordfish rips open a human costume. That's fucking amazing. So the special effects budget is going all on this shot, but it's going to be a good one.
Right. So, like we said, we've incorporated the fish in the face, but then a swordfish is nearby, throws that, pierces the outfit. 7 flamingos flourish from it, and it's like, whoa! Your mind would be blown.
Oh yeah.
Your mind would be absolutely blown. And the last line is about killing them. Was, what does it say, Tom?
Was the right thing to do.
So maybe instead of it's George killing the flamingos or killing whoever it was who was the suspect, it's the flamingos actually killing George.
Oh, so it's going to be a sad ending.
Well, is it or isn't it? Is George a character we actually like? Because he has been imprisoning these animals, and flamingos have been the sort of brute of it, haven't they?
I think if I don't think the flamingos would kill him. I think if they were going to do anything, they would carry him and then drop him in an enclosure.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean?
And it's
some fucking jaded polar bear that's like, it's good to see you, pal.
And what about, and even an ulterior motive like we've had for Alan all along, was he's been jealous of George maybe for like coming onto the park, and he's all like, I'm the ranger. I'm the one who looks after this park. Yeah. The fact that you keep coming on and thinking that I can't do this. I don't know. I'm just trying to think.
Right, but if the flamingos are Alan, this is mental.
Oh yeah, fucking hell. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I apologise.
If the flamingos are Alan,
they are. You're right.
So,
you're right.
Come on, mate. Carry on.
Yeah.
I really like the idea that the flamingos are now trying to put all the people of Darlington into Flamingo Land and then repopulate in Darlington themselves and just switch the places.
Like Planet of the Apes type.
Okay,
that's mental. Yeah.
I love where this has got to.
Flamingos petting a 7-year-old. Like the role reversal.
Yeah, like you said. So they're trying to get everyone at Darlington into the Flamingo Land and vice versa. Right. Okay. So then, we've got to get that last line in, which was killing them was the right thing to do. So how do we get that last bit in, and then we can wrap that story up?
I quite want to kill George. I'd rather him die than the flamingos.
Right, okay. So they've dropped him.
So I think what happens is it's the final scene is this very lonely scene where George, surrounded by all the other locals of Darlington, are in a cage.
In Flamingo Land.
In Flamingo Land. And they can see Darlington in the distance and all the flamingos having a great time. And he realises there's no way that they can get out. So he turns around and he looks at all his fellow inmates and he goes, what do I do? Do I let them spend the rest of their days here in a cage like an animal, or do I end their misery? And he realises that killing them is the best thing to do.
Right, so he kills all the people of Darlington.
And it's a real message about zoos in general, actually.
Yeah.
Would you want to live as a caged animal, or would you rather be dead?
And then
slavery is no way to live.
I like that.
I think that is a. Go on.
Did the flamingos have like some sort of gift shop element with the corpses? You know what I mean, like teeth.
Yes,
like
they
little,
do.
Yeah,
And there's a gift shop.
Yeah. I think we have got to. I think we've got to a very good place there. Pat on the back ourselves.
Thank you very much.
So yeah, fantastic. What we usually. Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, I think that's probably the most surreal one.
Oh yeah,
we've had in a while.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I think the idea of animals imprisoning human beings is pretty out there. So
I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
What I want to do is what we do with each episode is we'll just have a tiny break and then we're just going to think of a title for this story, what the soundtrack would be if we saw the trailer for it, and what the poster would look like, as well as a line for the pot that you can gift for the next guest. Does that sound good?
Absolutely.
Right, so we'll be back in 1 sec. So Tom, thank you very much for that story.
Thanks
mate.
for having me. That was amazing.
Yeah. How did you find the experience of doing it?
Yeah, it was a journey. It started small, and then by the end, it's like, so they throw a swordfish and there's a flamingo. I think the image of a guy flying through the air, a swordfish ripping him apart, and 7 flamingos bursting out is now burnt into my brain.
Yeah.
I like the fact it was very specific to one area as well. Like there was a lot of local knowledge that came through in that.
I'm very happy. Darlington's been my local town for my entire life, and I am happy to have represented it in such a prestigious manner.
Yeah. Well, I felt like it had a few themes in it, like the Scooby-Doo sort of theme, like a whodunit, like what's going on, and the Planet of the Apes sort of element at the end as well, like the imprisonment.
Yeah, it would have been nice. Imagine if it started with that, and then it's like, what does that world look like if it is random?
Oh, so like Planet of the Apes, it was the reverse already, and then they realised at the end, oh my God, humans used to be the ones who lived in Darlington, not the flamingos.
Great imagery in that.
A title for this story. We always go for something like quite a bit of a play on words, a bit punny. Have you got any ideas? Because I've.
Every rose has its George, and like every rose has its thorn. I'm just trying to. It's a stretch. It's a stretch, but I like it.
So okay, hang on.
Cometh the man, cometh the flower.
Oh, I like that. That's great. I like that. Cometh the man, cometh the flower.
I think that's all right. I think that's good.
Cometh the man,
because it is obviously it's a bit. That's what sets off this whole story.
Yeah,
that is funny.
Right, I reckon we go with that. I reckon
cometh
we go
the man, cometh the flower.
Yeah. Okay. And then if we were seeing the trailer, what would the soundtrack to it be? Like, what would the piece of music be for it?
You want an existing song?
It's an existing song. Yeah.
What
Would you have? I'm trying to think of like songs that are.
All the leaves are brown.
Oh, that's quite nice. I like
and
that.
And the sky is grey.
There's a melancholiness to that as well.
Yeah.
So that's quite cool.
Is that California?
It's not Mamas and Papas, is it? That?
It's California Dreaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, California Dreaming, which is so apt for Darlington to compare it to California.
Yeah, so that's option one. Maybe we think of one more, and then we can pick two.
Like a flower song.
You don't bring me flowers anymore.
Yeah.
Is there anyone I can
what
think
of? No, Flowers in the Pouring Rain. That's a garage tune. We can't have that. I bring you flowers in the pouring rain.
It's a weird mix.
Yeah.
I don't hate it as a song.
Yeah.
But Kiss from a Rose.
Oh,
yes.
by Seal. Yeah. I like
by
that.
Seal. Should have put a seal in there as well.
Yeah.
Should have put a seal in there as well.
Yeah, I think that is very good.
Yeah, Kiss from a Rose.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So, cometh the man, cometh the flower.
Yeah, Kiss from a Rose, Seal.
Yeah. Right.
And then what do we think this poster would look like? I sort of generate the artwork for them through AI, but it's good to sort of...
Oh, do you? Right, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's a man walking through a park of flowers. And then you've got different sort of animals all over the place. Obviously a giraffe. Oh, no, come on. You've got to have him being held by a giraffe. That was such an iconic bit.
Yeah.
Sort of like...
So, you see...
Do you know the Mission Impossible film?
Yeah.
And he's like there. So he's like that, but then just with the giraffe neck holding him down.
I like that. I think that's
maybe
good.
Some flamingos in the background.
Yeah.
And over like a bed of flowers.
Yeah. There's lots to play with in that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
And then last thing to do, Tom, is just a line which you can offer for the pots. Like it can be a starting, finishing, middle sentence.
So I just say any line?
Any line that you want, and then another guest is going to have to try and fit that into their story.
How about Suddenly, a giggle came from the hole.
I like that.
Suddenly, a giggle
That could be
came
used
from
in so
the
many
hole.
different ways.
There you go.
Yeah, I like that a
Okay,
lot, Tom.
sweet.
Yeah, is there anything... what are your handles for socials and stuff like that?
I am at Honourable Tom.
Right, okay.
It's all right,
Yeah.
that.
And are you doing anything in Manchester anytime soon or throughout the year?
I'll be on tour in Manchester. Well, I'll be Salford, not technically Manchester.
Oh,
but
Salford.
Same thing.
Oh, Lowry.
So the
doing
Lowry,
Lowry, yeah.
I'll be doing the Lowry. It'll be next year probably now. But I'm up in Manchester a few times.
Nice,
And,
man.
Yeah,
Cool.
Yeah, well, I say we'll maybe see you in Manchester.
that'd be great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
keep getting involved with the pod, guys. Keep sending in your suggestions for sentences. It really does make a difference. And yeah, we will see you again very soon. Anything else you want to add, Harry?
Just tell your mates if you're enjoying it. That's
Yeah.
what we need. That's what we need. We've got nothing but 5-star reviews across the board so far. So let's maintain that.
Yeah,
please.
yeah. But apart from that, this has been All Made Up with Tom Houghton. Thank you.
Thank you. 5 stars from me, guys.
It's all